The National Home Builders Registration Council, NHBRC, is a regulated body of the home building industry. Established in 1998, our mandate is to protect the interests of the housing consumers and to ensure compliance to regulated building industry standards. No matter the size or value of your home building project, the NHBRC is here to protect you, the housing consumer.
Look at this, my son. These are the plans for our new house.
Wow, it's going to be great. But Dad, we must make sure we get a good builder. We don't want anything to go wrong.
Don't worry. Our builder is very good. He's registered with the NHBRC.
The NHBRC? What's that?
It's the National Home Builders Registration Council. It's there to regulate the home building industry.
So because our builder is part of the NHBRC, we won't have to worry about things like this, and this, or this.
That's right. But you can ask him yourself. Here he is, the man who's going to build our new house.
Your father is right. The NHBRC lays down strict standards and guidelines I have to follow. The NHBRC gives home builders free training. We have to promise to comply with the strict standards set down by the NHBRC. Another important thing, a builder who is registered is recognized by the banks and credit providers as reputable. That helps the home builder if he needs to get a loan. Of course, we get protection too from unreasonable homeowners.
So, are all home builders registered with the NHBRC?
It's the law. If a builder is found to be building houses without being registered, he may have to pay a fine or even go to prison.
Psst. How do I register as a home builder?
Easy. Get hold of an application form from the NHBRC. Fill it in. Show that you are financially stable, that you have the technical and managerial expertise. Pay the 1,271 Rand 93 cent registration fee. The annual membership fee is 526 Rand 32 cents. To qualify as a builder, you should pass the NHBRC technical assessment.
And then, how long will it take?
Registration will take up to 5 days at most, if they have all your documentation. The home builder will be in the NHBRC database, which is accessible to the public on the internet. This increases your chance of being awarded a contract. The consumer can verify that a builder is registered by calling toll-free 0800 200 824 or checking out the website www.nhbrc.org.za. The NHBRC provides guidelines for everything, and if we need to deviate in any way from the guidelines, we can submit plans, the engineer's drawings, for approval by the NHBRC's engineers. Take a look at this house we just finished building. The NHBRC provides guidelines on every single aspect of the building project to make certain the finished structure is suitable for human habitation. That includes, apart from the floor and walls that are strong, a roof that won't let the rain in or even blow off in high winds, plumbing that works, providing hot and cold water in the kitchen and bathroom, and safely dispose of sewage and drain water, and electricity that is absolutely 100% safe.
But how does the NHBRC ensure that every home is of high quality?
First, by making sure all home builders are registered, and second, by making use of the South African national standards and a home builder's manual, which every builder is required to buy. You see, all the materials used to build your home must meet these standards, and all the building methods must conform to the codes of practice for house building. So it's all laid down, no room for guesswork or shoddy workmanship.
That's good to hear.
You can't just use any old materials when you build a home. Look at this building sand. Feel that. It's good, clean sand. You need good quality cement, and you need to use the right mix proportions when you make concrete or mortar. No skimping on cement, or your home won't last very long. Everything that goes into a new house must meet the correct standards.
So when I employ a builder who is registered with the NHBRC, I can be sure everything complies with the South African national standards. I can hear there are many good things the NHBRC can do for me. Do I automatically get all these benefits?
You will get all those benefits I mentioned. Your new home needs to be enrolled with the NHBRC before we start construction work. Your name will be registered as the homeowner and you will get an enrollment certificate. That means the NHBRC will send an inspector to see the construction is done properly. Should there be any non-compliance during construction, they will assist the builder in dealing with them.
And when the house is finished, what if there are any problems then?
You will get a 5-year warranty on major structural defects and a 1-year roof leak cover. If anything which is covered under warranty goes wrong, the NHBRC will have it put right.
It all sounds good. How do I enroll?
As your builder, I have to enroll your home with the NHBRC on your behalf.
But my home is quite small.
Doesn't matter what the selling price is. If you're paying cash, getting a loan, or if it is a government subsidized home, all new homes have to be enrolled.
Does it take long? We want to get going on my house as soon as possible.
It doesn't take very long. As a builder, I must enroll your house at least 15 days prior to construction, and the NHBRC is obliged to issue an enrollment certificate in order to start construction within this period. Depending on volumes, this can be done within 2 days.
I can see that there are many benefits to enrolling with the NHBRC. But what about cost? Nothing is free.
Of course not. There is a fee, but not much. The enrollment fee is based on a percentage of the selling price of your house, including the land. The maximum fee is 34,000 Rand for a house over 5 million Rand. For a house under 500,000 Rand, it is 1.3% of the selling price. Every new house that is built has to be inspected by the NHBRC.
Every house? How many inspections?
That depends on how complex the design is. A simple house like this one will have no less than 4 inspections. But a big double-story house like that might need 8 inspections.
Okay, now tell me, these inspectors, what do they look for?
They must make sure all the structural requirements are met. Look, there is the NHBRC inspector now. He is checking the foundations. He must see the trench before the concrete is poured, so he can be sure the foundations will be strong enough. He is measuring them very carefully. Later, he will come and check the roof height, see that the house is properly finished, that doors and windows fit, that stormwater drains away and doesn't flood the place, and all carpentry, plumbing and electrical works are checked. And finally, waterproofing. You don't want any nasty surprises when it rains.
Now what happens if I have a complaint? Let's say the house is finished and I move in with my family and one day the roof falls off.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. But seriously, there are always 1 or 2 problems. First, you must lodge your complaint with the builder in writing. You must also give the builder reasonable access to your property so that he can fix the problem.
So that's all I have to do?
Well, there's one more thing. Make sure you have paid the builder what you owe him. There are 3 types of complaints that the NHBRC deals with. First, a 3-month maintenance period. The builder will fix doors, handles, taps, loose tiles, that type of thing. Then there's the 1-year roof leak period. These leaks can appear suddenly, especially when there is a lot of rain. And finally, you can report major structural defects within 5 years of the date of occupation. That crack, for example, or here where the floor slab is crumbling in the corner.
Okay, now suppose I have followed all of the steps and the builder still hasn't fixed the problem. What then?
If the problem is still not fixed, that is where the NHBRC comes in. You can phone in the toll-free number 0800 200 824 or fill in a complaint form. You can get the complaint form from the NHBRC website or directly from the central office of the nearest NHBRC office. You must include proof of the date when you moved into the house. plus show them the list of complaints you gave to the builder. The NHBRC will look at the complaint and decide if a conciliation process is advisable. The homeowner will then pay a fee of 300 Rand, which is refundable if your complaint is genuine. It may be necessary for on-site conciliation to take place. The officer from the NHBRC will propose dates and times. Then the officer will inspect the site with the builder and assess the complaint. The officer will then prepare a report detailing what needs to be done to put things right.
Well, I'm sure my problems will be sorted out by now. But one hears stories. Terrible things go wrong. Bad builders who just won't fix their mistakes. You can imagine.
Yes, I can imagine. If your builder still hasn't fixed the problem, the NHBRC will accept responsibility and fix it and recover the expenses from the home builder. Or if the problem is beyond their mandate, then they may suggest you start legal proceedings.
You mean get a lawyer?
Yes. If a home builder fails to comply with the standards and procedures of the NHBRC, and he fails to honor his obligations.
In other words, he doesn't fix all his mistakes.
Right. He could be suspended from the NHBRC. This may lead to a disciplinary hearing and ultimately to his being deregistered from the NHBRC. He can no longer build houses. His business is finished. This bad builder is finished. We don't have to worry about him anymore. The NHBRC has put him out of business.
Good. But wait. Some of these characters are very clever. What's to stop him from setting up business under a new name? He could go on building bad houses all over the show. Many more innocent homeowners could get caught out.
Don't worry. The NHBRC has his ID number. Once he has been deregistered, it will be impossible for him to register again.
That's a relief. Okay, now we have got rid of this bad builder, but I've still got these problems with my house. Who's going to fix those?
The NHBRC, that's who. Once it has been established that the builder is unable or unwilling to fix his mistakes, the NHBRC will compile a report on the structural defects and make sure they get fixed.
Suppose the NHBRC agrees that the problems with my house need to be repaired. Who pays?
If the problems occur within 5 years, the NHBRC may pay for the rectification of major structural defects out of the NHBRC fund. The fund may pay for repairs to the drainage system, outbuildings, and retaining walls, provided they affect the structural integrity of the house.
What will the fund not pay for?
The fund does not cover losses or damage caused by delay, loss of rental income, default in mortgage payments, or any defect that is covered by insurance.
What is the maximum amount?
The enrollment value of the house, up to a maximum of 500,000 Rand.
So the NHBRC performs a very important function?
Right. If you were not registered with the NHBRC, you could become the victim of unqualified builders who may be incompetent and unable to build your house to industry standards. The NHBRC gives the builder guidelines to follow, and by using a registered builder, the homeowner is protected and can turn to the builder or the NHBRC for help.
Well, thank goodness for the NHBRC. Can we get started on my house now?
Right away. NHBRC, assuring quality homes. Call toll-free 0800 200 824 or check out the website www.nhbrc.org.za. Compliments of the Center for Research and Housing Innovation.